and welcome to the Night of Champions / SmackDown preview. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture. Here to look ahead to this weekend's Night of Champions, PLE, and of course SmackDown, which is tonight today when we're recording this.
Oh, Fridays.
Love me some Fridays.
Just looking out the weather there and thinking to myself, hey, Wilbourn, in that peak Friday weather.
Yep.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review SmackDown, of course, and Night of Champions.
On Fridays.
Well, we won't be reviewing SmackDown, actually, after this, because we'll only be talking about Night of Champions on it. We don't just do that, though. We also review Raw, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a big quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to look ahead to Night of Champions and SmackDown. Normally, we'd sort of casually mention SmackDown and just head straight to the PLE, but there's loads of title matches not on the Night of Champions.
Yes. Was this a... WWE have done this before when they do the International Saturday PLEs where they've had the SmackDown in the same area, and often it's like been the tag division, isn't it? That's kind of been a joke that like it's been the tag titles that for some reason keeps getting bumped off the PLE and everything else. But in this case, it's quite a lot on this SmackDown, and you have to assume it's something to do with the Saudi Arabian Sports Authority, the sense of them giving Triple H trying to push through his 5-6 match pay-per-view thing. When this deal first launched all them years ago, they were like, how many matches do you want? 10, 15, 20? How many guys do you want? 40, 100? Like, there was nothing they couldn't, like, short of literally resuscitating wrestlers from the dead, which was requested.
You can't have them, no.
Other than that, there was nothing that couldn't be done, right? So we're obviously a lot of years into the deal, and there's been a lot of changes in the way that WWE have worked with Vision 2030 as part of this successful sports watching project. And, yeah, the SmackDown now almost feels like the days of the shudder 2-hour 3-match kickoffs. Remember them?
Yeah.
That's what this SmackDown to this Night of Champions feels like, which is why we thought, let's bundle it together here on this Friday. And then on the Monday, I guess it'll be a Night of Champions review, but potentially, if there's some big ramifications, we can drop that in there as well.
We'll save it for the SmackDown preview at the end of next week.
That is true. There's always a SmackDown preview coming 7 days from today on the following Friday.
Yes, and what a Friday it is. Have you got any big plans for your weekend?
Watching this,
will this SmackDown be on at a reasonable time?
SmackDown and Night of Champions will be on at a time that is relatively suitable to the UK. I think it must be around the 5 area, something like that, 5, 6 o'clock. And, my wife's away this weekend, doing television's The Crystal Maze experience in Manchester. So I'll be with the boys, but they've taken a vested interest, as I've discussed before, in elements of WWE, mainly the stars. So they're keen to see if they're hoping John Cena loses, shall we say. So
not the only ones.
And we're trying to find out when John Cena's going to lose the title in that kind of like, Dad, you work in Talk About Wrestling. Can you tell when that's going to happen? It's like, I'm trying to forecast it every day. So, so we'll be gathered around to probably watch at least some of this card live, which would be quite nice, as opposed to watching it in the morning. And otherwise, I haven't decided yet. I might take him to the cinema. I haven't been for a while, so I might see what's on, see if there's anything kicking around.
That new Disney thing I was telling you about the other day.
It's bombed at the box office.
Yeah.
But the thing with those
is Mission Impossible.
Is Disney...
I went for the first time to the cinema in 2 years.
He was so buzzed with it.
There's no one there.
Is Disney reaping what it sows, do you think? Because I'm pretty sure this is going to be on Disney Plus in like a couple of months. So I'm thinking I'm not going to think of flicks for that one. Be in the house.
Alois was watching The Accountant 2 the other day, and I was like, that was literally just in the cinema, but I think it's on Prime now.
Oh, okay. What was The Accountant 1? I feel like I know The Accountant.
Ben Affleck's very good. It's worth a watch if you haven't seen it before.
I've definitely not seen it before.
He's autistic, or maybe slightly wrong there.
We're amazed. I'm amazed that we already actually know the actor you've named.
Yes,
it's rare that happens where a film / actor comes up and I know who the hell anyone's talking about.
Anna Kendrick as well, I believe in there.
I know Anna Kendrick. Oh, wait a minute. I thought I knew that for some reason. The Accountant, right? Here's a little wrestling related tie-in that a lot of people know what I'm talking about here. Do you remember when AW was actually hot? When I used to fly to America on Wednesdays and then eat with some cereal and then fly home in time for the review?
Yes.
I would get into the hotel in America, let's say with about 5 minutes to spare. I'd be eating my cereal, tweeting my cereal sometimes. Here's a little picture of my cereal. and I'd watch Waiting for Dynamite on TBS. It might have been the TNT era, I can't remember. The last 5 minutes of the accountant. I know what happens in the last 5 minutes of the accountant.
Oh, yes, you've seen this.
And I have no way to tie it to the rest of the story. But let me tell you, that painting bit gets me really emotional.
It's brilliant, genuinely.
Right.
It's worth the investment of the previous, 2.5 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah, when she rocks up with that painting. And you're not just pulling back a layer of the painting, you're pulling back a layer of my heart. Every week, every Wednesday for like a year.
It's like Wheel of Fortune, like we used to have with SmackDown.
It's like, yeah, it is, honestly, man.
I was just thinking that, we've gone off a bit of a tangent here. So apologies to the man behind the SmackDown Photoshop who made us a lovely list last week of topics we need to cover. We're not going to get to any of them today because we do have quite a lot to get through in quite a short period amount of time.
Busy Friday.
I know you've done Taskmaster in the past.
Yes.
And obviously, if we could, we'd be waking Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, NXT, all the shows. But if you could have taken part in a TV show from your childhood that you watched, like Crystal Maze, what would it have been?
Finders Keepers.
Really?
That's the one. Funhouse.
Funhouse was going to be mine, yeah.
Funhouse is the one.
Or Get Your Own Back. Like, I remember wanting to write to Dave Benson Phillips, a hero of mine, lovely man. I was going to write to him, and I genuinely, this is so privileged. I was like, my parents aren't bad to me at all. I've got no stories I can... normally it's like, my mom always makes me clean my room before I can play video games. I was like, really, as an only child, so I was just spoilt. I couldn't really be like, I still want to Gundam, Dave.
I didn't... You know why I wouldn't have ever wanted to go and Get Your Own Back with my parents? I didn't like the risk-reward ratio.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be sliding into the Gundam myself. I needed a certainty, it was like, no, thank you. Whereas Finders Keepers, you definitely get to smash up the house. I could treat it like, oh no, Sunderland would be beating again. I'm going to smash the house up, and Neil Buchanan's going to say, go for it, raid the room.
What are they doing
now?
You're going to try and... do you remember your time?
Get your clock out. It was, what? It was 1 minute and 4 seconds.
It was still there.
0.18.
You want to break the 60-second barrier?
Fans, I do. I want to beat that record, but I don't know. But I've been thinking about it, and I can't concentrate on the card until we've tried to crack the record.
I'll tell you what, as you do this, I'll attempt to beat you in running down all of the matches we're about to preview.
That's quite good. That is quite good.
Okay, you tell me when you're ready.
I need to decide on a different strategy this time.
What did you go last time? One at a time?
One at a time, and then I started snapping to go in. I might...
You got a water or a coffee or something?
It's here for after.
Okay, good.
Clear out the mouth. I might go for 2 this time.
Okay.
And then break up the last one.
Big start, yeah. I'll not talk to you. I don't want you to talk to me. I just want you to sit there. We'll get all your thoughts on all these matches in due course. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, we're not going necessarily for the world record here. We're just going for a PB.
Nobody needs to hear this. Unless that's what you're into. No kink shaming.
PCB, what was that?
PC page.
Was that a page? Yeah, a PCB is a
submission sorority was taken by something, wasn't it?
Yeah. That's this PCB, which is a former stable, but also a personal cracker best.
Yes.
So there you have it.
Taking care of business.
Okay. I knew there was another thing that was like PCB. Alongside that. Okay. I have reset the timer. I'm ready. I'll give you 3, 2, 1, and then I'll say go. Go on the G of the go. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. So, on this podcast, we are going to be talking about the 3 title matches that are taking place on SmackDown, that being Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax, the last woman standing match for the Women's Championship. We've also got Zelina Vega defending the US title against Julia. And, of course, the tag team titles, as Hamflett alluded to, are also on the line. It's Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, the Street Profits versus Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis of the Wyatt Six. And then on Saturday night, at Night of Champions, we have, of course, the King and Queen of the Ring finals. Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes and Asuka and Jay Cargill going at that. We have Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez in a street fight, a singles match between Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross. And, of course, the undisputed WWE Championship. Very excited to preview John Cena versus CM Punk. Ladies and gentlemen, in 56 seconds.
Yeah! You knew it!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What is the world record? If you keep knocking over like 10 seconds, how was it going through it, by the way? You might need to reposition your mic because it's just pointing up in the air. It's better.
It was rough there for a second. There is definitely a moment. I'm not into autoerotic asphyxiation. And if you are, more power to you. But crikey, stay safe. I miss NXS. Like, I can only assume that sort of feeling of, whoa, this is a bit white knuckle before you get white knuckle in a different way. Must do something for people. I am not somebody that enjoys, fetishizes, or fantasizes about risk in my life. And
there's more time to shave off there, though.
That pulls me quite close to the old risk cliff.
Was it 30-something seconds we worked it out?
Sure, it was like 34 seconds or something. It was
with a bit more training.
Well, but this...
I think you can get below 50 seconds. No,
the Capri Sun thing, where you think, I think I could do that, but you would need to spend days, hours, weeks popping those... Pop it in the pouches, like over and over again. This doesn't feel right. It's okay. Sorry, please tee up while I unprofessionally deal with stuff and have a swig of coffee because of my mouth.
Well, let's go through these title matches on SmackDown. Should we start with...
It's like the cotton. I need the rat to piss on it.
Should we start with the tag titles as you mentioned them? Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six, Joe Gacy and Dexter Loomis. I've just seen it. This says Dexter Loomis.
See, this is the thing. I felt the coffee down my gum. Can't speak anymore. Felt the coffee going down my throat. And it felt like it was going past like a fatberg of crunched up Jacob's cracker. Like it's gone down, like it's as if the cracker's there, wherever my Adam's apple is, that's now just pure cracker.
Yeah.
And like the coffee is going down the sides. And I'm not, I guess that's how science works, and I'm not swallowing effectively as I should. Anyway, the Wyatt Six. Is this...
They can't win the tag titles.
No, they cannot. Is this the second week in a row of... a fresh game of Triple H's or get off the pot? Last week, it was R-Truth getting his moment, I guess, before it feels like maybe he goes into something with Damian Priest. Whatever it is, down the card you go. I
said this on Monday, by the way, that I don't think he's dropping down the card straight away. He's got a win over John Cena now.
Which I noted, to be fair to you, but I do think they're not revisiting that. I think it's done. I think the way the product is directed is going to instruct you to go. Forget that. You've had your fun. You've had your fun with your R-Truth. Is there a bit of that with the Wyatt Six? Is what I'm leading to here. They were off screen for a long time. They were brought back because of well-founded sentiment and a gesture of like support, I think, in some respects to the Bray Wyatt legacy and to the Wyatt fan base and to Bo Dallas himself and to these friends of Bray Wyatt and these supporters of his that miss him. And there was a real, I don't know, there was a certain karmic balance to everything in the way the Wyatt Six were initially used. But that match the other week was a stinker. And the stuff that they were doing when they came back to TV, where they were like scaring people and then hitting the ring again to work some headlocks and quick tags and cutting the ring off. It was just quite a bleak reminder. This is before the botched City Jones stuff. It was a bit of a bleak reminder of what this is. It's like imagine if you're the SmackDown GM, I can't remember his name, and then you've got that big board with all the red pieces of string being like, and that tag team keeps stacking that tag team. I thought I'd fixed all this and I'd just hide them into the TLC and told them half kill themselves. Like, and it's like, well, here's so-and-so, here's so-and-so. Do you know what I forgot about? The Magic Power tag team. Like, it doesn't really vibe with the rest of it, does it? So I kind of think you should cut bait. I know it sounds brutal. Cut bait, have them lose. Drawing board? Like, is Alexa Bliss going back with them? I'm not so sure.
No, not right now.
She's got the gear, but they're doing old NXT law. They're doing 2014, you helped me at training school law, rather than, she's being seduced by the darkness of the Wyatts. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I really couldn't care less about the Wyatt Six. Like, I appreciate what they're doing. I particularly think Bo Dallas has really done some great work in this. You don't need us to say how much we love Eric Rowan. We talk about him all the time. And I think, Loomis and Gacy have come on leaps and bounds from what they were, but I just don't care. And I much prefer seeing the Street Profits or seeing the Motor City Machine Guns or Fraxium, obviously. It's like you say, it just doesn't, like, we could draw that thing up of like, right, you've got heels, DIY, you've got sort of slightly more tweeners in Pretty Deadly nowadays than they initially were. You've got baby faces that are probably heading towards heels in Motor City Machine Guns. You've got champions elect, you might say, in Fraxium, but also the champions. I don't want to take the belts off them anytime soon. I think Street Profits are great.
Yeah.
And they had to work a long way to get back to that. Who am I missing? Have I missed a team in all this?
DIY.
Motor City Machine Guns, Fraxium, Street Profits. Pretty Deadly, yeah.
That's everybody.
I don't think they should even give them an out of like, well, they might have won the tag titles had it not been for Bruce.
And they might see one more big multi-man schmoz in them. Something for some. If you're going to put the belts on at SummerSlam, the best bet you've got is probably a multi-man because you've been lazy telling the stories. I'm not interested. Like, the Street Profits' reign is doing nothing for them other than kind of allowing them to be the tag team champions, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's not like the storytelling happening, really. You know, it's not like remember, like, there's been like half-baked heel and babyface turns with these teams.
Yeah.
Where you kind of think, oh, they're going that, and then nothing really happens. They're just wrestling. More. It needs to be more. And I think one of the first things you need to do to get across that is beat the White Six.
That is a thing. Arguably the highest chance of a title changing hands, you might say, is this women's US title match, Zelina Vega versus Julia. Looking up and down the card, and I'm like, if anything's going to change hands, that would be the first one I would assume, because they obviously have big plans for Julia. There's a lot of love for Julia, and you look at what they're doing with Stephanie Vaquer as well, and Julia got the rocket strapped to her when she arrived in NXT, and then, you know, barring injury, probably would have, I don't know, things may have gone slightly different. I don't really understand what happened with her and the injury and whatever. But it was a nice try with Zelina Vega as US champion, but I'd give Julia the title on Friday, especially as a, you know, even if we're in a different world of selling pay-per-views and PLAs than we used to. But the idea of like, oh my God, this title changed hands on this show. Tomorrow night, the undisputed title could change hands.
They've done it. They're not, they're not afraid to make that sort of very loose connection, ultimately. I think, to be totally pragmatic about it, you probably have to change the title whether you intended to or not. Like, if you had a longer reign in mind for Zelina Vega, you would have had that longer reign in mind with the view of, so at this point she's going to be this over, and at this point she's going to be this over, and it's all steps. And then let's say you get to, I don't know, Survivor Series where you want to take the belt off her. By this point, you think she's going to be all the way up there. Like, when she won the belt, she was this over, and then ever since then she's been this over. And then as a result of some matches gone a little bit awry, and the constant reminder that she gets no reaction when she comes out to the ring, she's now this over. So for audio viewers, basically, I did an upward motion for the hypothetical and a downward one for the reality. Julia, on the other hand, has stayed weirdly in the middle, which is its own kind of less than ideal. She arrives in NXT with loads of fanfare, and then it doesn't really get backed up. And worse still, she is the victim of comparison because, I mean, Stephanie Vaquer is just one of the breakouts of the year in WWE. And Jordan Grace, to a lesser extent, felt closer to the title than Julia ever did, even though she'd won it.
Yes.
You know? And then she comes up to Raw, and the splitting of her team with Roxanne Perez felt, maybe this is just me, felt like a relegation for Julia. And a bit of a...
look at the way they've gone in different directions.
Yeah, and here she is potentially going to win a title, but this is what we talk about when we talk about storytelling. Her winning a title, Julia, pronoun boy, is not as like currently as captivating as what Roxanne Perez has been doing in the Judgment Day. There is clearly a direction. There's a storyboard. There's a what's happening in week 3, 4, 5, and 6. When's Roxanne winning this big match? What she's doing. Julia, about 3 weeks ago, was road dogged into a room and told, go and challenge Zelina Vega. In 3 weeks, we'll do the match. Like, she could win the title, and she might.
And I think this is kind of what the US title is there for, if not doing what they're doing with the likes of Becky Lynch and the IC title, for example.
She can talk a good game about credibility while still earning it. And I like Julia, by the way. I think there's a high...
just get her over by just having good matches.
Yeah, there's a high ceiling with Julia, and I do think it's taken her a little bit of a while, in some ways, to adjust stylistically. But the more you do it, the reps, the title defenses, I actually think they've tried that with Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
But it's been a bit of a speedrun version of it. I think it's like, we'll give you a couple of matches and get you going. And it's had the opposite impact. The matches have gone
Because they're the same match about 6 weeks in a row, that's why.
That as well, yeah. The programme has not been interesting. Yeah, Julia to win. It's okay to call things failed experiments and get a wrestling as often as you can justify.
Very quickly, we don't have to go into much details because we sort of alluded to this on the Raw preview at the start of this week. You getting a pipe bomb from Punk?
I don't think we're getting a thing. I sensed it last week. I said it on the Raw preview. I think I sense after the pipe bomb, in all its divisive glory, they made a call. And I don't know if there's a promo in CM Punk that talks around what we saw. The match can do the talking. And you save the CM Punk excitement for Saturday, because if any of the boos have travelled from wherever they were when the cheers for John Cena, he's going to get a good response. He's going to do the last time is now in Saudi Arabia. The kit's going to be, the John Cena shirt's going to be as green as a Newcastle United third kit. Like, it's going to be a big night for John Cena in Saudi Arabia. And, like, that might in itself cause problems with the dynamic. Cena and Punk could be getting booed. I don't think you send him out there to potentially make that worse with a dodgy promo.
Now, you often rant about people online who clearly complain about WWE shows having never watched them. I've seen people say, Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton.
You're joking. Not another one?
And they have not been paying attention because these two produce magic in there together. This sort of final last woman standing match for the WWE Women's Championship is going to be great fun because considering what happened when they had the weapons last time, they're going to go bonkers here. And there's the spectre of a cash-in lingering over this. I don't think it's going to happen here because it's kind of putting the cart before the horse. To be honest, there may be a bit where Jade Cargill prevents a cash-in.
Yeah, maybe.
From Naomi, but
probably too much foreshadowing about the winner of the Queen of the Ring, isn't it, if you do that? Like, we all think Jade, but you've got to, if you're doing that on Friday night, she's kind of assuming, well, I want that shot, so you haven't won yet. You're overlooking Asuka, that sort of thing. I can't wait for the match, though. I do like watching these two wrestle. I like how hard they go in a weapons environment. Nia Jax has a good record on TV. We've said all this stuff before. If you do watch, you will have seen it. The best chance this has to be good is right here on SmackDown, away from the glare, away from the pressure. Hot crowd, I would guess. And furthermore, Tiffany Stratton's babyface cause might be massively enhanced.
Yeah.
She has got to. She should watch tape of Bayley from Takeover London in 2015 for giant slaying moves and then insert weapons into them. That's the answer. Treat this like you need to climb the biggest mountain, but luckily for you, you've been given all the best tools and you've been given a team of helpers. Like, imagine if you're Tiffany Stratton that Nia Jax is this impossible challenge, this insurmountable challenge. And then coming off the back of it, you have got this actual fist-clenched babyface persona to speak of. People have seen the traits. They've seen you just gut it out. There was an element of that in the match against Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, an element of it. But even then, I think we all got lost in it kind of falling apart a bit. The best moment for Tiffany Stratton was when she held that belt aloft and it looked like half her teeth were missing. Bloody hell, she's been in a war. But there were times during the war itself where you were like, are they on the same page? Are they not? Are they worse? Are they on the same page and it looks like this?
Yeah.
Like it was a bit of a mix-up, a bit of a mess. And the build was the build. So the best chance Tiffany Stratton has here is to come away having defeated Nia Jax, having like slayed the monster. And if you want to do a cash-in tease, this can be the first week where Tiffany Stratton has the smarts or the guts to avoid it. You know, like she's won the match, she's knackered, she's taken a beating. Out comes Naomi, and then right, come on, let's go. She's ready to fight it, and then if not Jade Cargill, like she like drills Naomi with a big kick, and just gets out of dodge, and it's like, not tonight. I'm not going to be a sitting duck for you. That sort of thing, you know. And you come away, and the idea is, all right, I'm starting to get behind Tiffany Stratton a little bit. She's got a Queen of the Ring to face, and then if it's Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, like they've both got these cases where they both profess themselves to be the Queen or the Princess or whatever, and something's got to give, you know.
On to the Night of Champions card, and let's start with the street fight. That's another really awesome, rough women's match to look forward to. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez.
This goes one of two ways, and we've seen both. They have nights where it's Clunker City Jones, where their equal stature seems to create this odd. You remember when you would do the two similar poles and the magnets, and you were certain you could disprove your science teacher and push them together, and they just wouldn't. Like, it's often like watching these two wrestle. Like, they get within this little distance of each other, and they sort of stop, and it's like you're massive. Like, do something.
Yeah.
But when that, I don't know what it is, when that like weird blockade disappears, they hurl themselves into one another, or through tables, or through chairs in some cases, and it's grisly. And like the best, this is the Charlotte Flair thing. She's never thought of as like a monster wrestler, but the best work she does is when she works like one. The pattern, don't worry, Rhea Ripley and Raquel Rodriguez, about your matches that have gone well, like the NXT ones, and the matches that haven't, like some of the main roster ones. Go Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair with this. Beat the dog out of each other. Just hit as hard as you like and apologize afterwards. Like, I fully expect a Slim Jim table or whatever, you know, like the kendo stick, all that gubbins. It's a WWE street fight. This is the nonsense you get. But if you go as hard as you are capable and able to, the fans in the building are going nuts for it. I don't know how impacted either way they are by the outfits they'll have to wear. Have to go for like the different,
of course,
gear and
yeah.
stuff. But yeah, I don't mind this. This feels like it's a match to build a match.
Yes, we both kind of are both in agreement here that, as we saw on Monday, Raquel is going to win this via help from Roxanne Perez, who she keeps looking at now and kind of saying to her,
Hey, you all right?
did you see? I meant to show you or send you the clip of Raquel helping Roxanne to her feet from Monday, spliced with Raquel helping Liv to her feet from whenever they first teamed up on a SmackDown, I think it was.
Good.
Yeah, Raquel will win because of the involvement of Roxanne Perez, and they're going to say, we're the tag team champions. Who's going to face us? And it's either going to be Rhea and Nikki Bella, or on behalf of Rhea, Nikki and Brie, if she gets the call.
The Bellas if she gets the call. Yeah. And it's fine. Like, it's a decent undercard match. We've done it first on the preview, and it would do well to probably open the show with this. Hot start.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of, is it the lightest weight thing on this show?
Or they might do the old opener and then semi-main for the King, or open with Queen of the Ring and then King of the Ring. So as far apart on the show, yeah.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Good point. Yeah.
The only other, I was going to say non-title, including a crown as a title here, is, of course, the highly anticipated Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Can he take a back bump? What a weird discourse that has been.
Strange that.
That was a couple of days ago, obviously.
Yeah, here on Friday, we've kind of all moved on from that. But I fully expect him to. I think he will. I
said, yeah, he had the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever, which is either completely no-sell through the entire match or immediately take a back bump.
A blue thunderbomb on his head. Just go and see. Sami Zayn wins, doesn't he? And fine.
Despite my love for Karrion Kross, I can't deny that.
Hey, man, if this match is good, it's a big dub for the likes of yourself, because never mind the back bump discourse, which is weird, but might have some, I don't know, who knows, some truth. But, you know, people are showing clips. You could probably find other clips where he does bump on his back, is what I'm saying.
Yes. But, yeah, I think I've even seen one.
But I believe in the swelling argument about, well, are the matches ever any good? And I think that's a perfect reason, as in, are they ever any good? You get the
working Sami Zayn, this is make or break time.
This is it, right? Like, you get the match where people will be super invested in Sami Zayn. They will be super invested in the result, because Sami Zayn is this guy that you can beat, and he is a main event in 1 minute and then a guy that anyone gets a pin on the next. That's the gift of Sami Zayn. So they'll get a couple of hot near falls here. But in terms of the aftermath for Karrion Kross, for him to continue on this run of people just love him. People just bloody love him. He needs to have the best match he's had in WWE. That's not hyperbole. He needs to have the best match he's had in WWE. Better than Ciampa in your house.
I was going to say Ciampa's the one, isn't it, that we think of?
5 years ago. That's too long. To have your reference point, you know? Make this the best match you've ever had in WWE. Sami Zayn to win.
And afterwards, you can still say, I lost. Or did I?
Or did I?
Yes, you lost. on paper.
I've got you fools right where I want you.
And then when Sami's there at WrestleMania next year, lifting up that world title, my work here is done. You didn't do anything.
Tick-tock.
Tick-tock, didn't I?
That's it. Flips the clock over, didn't I? And then when the sands run out, then he gets a title shot.
Yes. And it's at a show where they're turning back the clock because they're going back to Las Vegas next year.
Oh, in which case, the hourglass, rather than it being like the little hourglassy shape, can it just be 2 pyramids?
Oh my God.
Karen's like, anything's possible in 2 pyramids. So today, Wilbourn.
295 days
I wish it was
till night 1 of WrestleMania.
If it was tomorrow. I saw today the first mock-ups and then breaking ground, whatever it is, on that baseball stadium. The Las Vegas Athletics, I think. I don't know where they've stolen the team cruelly from.
Probably, yeah, somewhere.
The franchise is a pre-existing franchise. But yeah, it's going to be right opposite the Luxor.
Oh, yeah, I can see
New York and the MGM.
Looking at it there.
Yep. Take me up to the ball game. Especially if you're staying in the Luxor Hotel and Casino, which, by the way, is the best hotel in all of Las Vegas. But if you haven't booked or if you're considering booking or anything, we have nothing but our actual earnest love of the place to sell you yet. However, I'm just going to put this out on record. I'm in a bit of manifestation here. At some point in the near future, we are looking forward to breaking bread and talking turkey with our friends at MGM.
Mm-hmm.
And if and when we can, this year, we will be looking to lay out whatever plans we can make as soon as possible.
Yes.
So whilst I'm not saying hold off on your booking, our dream this year, total transparency here, our dream is to be able to tell you months, plural, in advance of what we would love to do. And if you're considering making your travel plans, to make them then.
Yes.
Like make them with the full knowledge of what it is we want to do. Last year, or this year, I should say, it was all trickier because it was like working with them for the first time. We were in the middle of our first ever world tour.
Yes.
Made things like was just a lot on the go, a lot of balls in the air. This year, because of how much we loved it at the MGM and how much we know from all the conversations we had with the people that had good times.
How bloody great we were. Yeah, you're welcome.
I don't mean that. The people that had such good times because anything was possible in the pyramid, coming to see us at Luxor and enjoying Luxor. We would love to make this one-stop shop destination for as much fun as you can have.
We'll make it a residency.
I'd make my life a residency in the Luxor. I'm still going to get that tattoo. I haven't decided what it's going to be yet, but I might just get Luxor Hotel and Casino.
I mean, plan me with enough alcohol, I might join you. I'm never going to get a tattoo in my life, but in the perfect place in the world.
Yeah. Not that I want to take.
Just gotta get
what?
Suck it, New Orleans written on me.
Oh, God. Right across your shoulders.
Commiserations to New Orleans, of course. But,
it's coming back. The game said so.
Hang fire, as Hamflett said. But if you're like, no, Adam, I've got money and I've got to spend it now. It's
Friday. It's payday for a lot of people.
Hey.
Happy payday / Friday. If that's what it is.
It's time to get your tickets for Sweet Chin Disco. We are all over the UK this August. And hey, pick sides here at WhatCulture. We like the 2 wrestling shows that we like. WWE and AEW.
Both of them. All of them.
And we are, all over the UK with after parties for both the... we start, I think, on the Wednesday, if I remember rightly.
Wilbourn is. A couple of people have asked. And it's very nice to think about. That's okay. That's not your fault.
The royal we. Yes. We, as in Sweet Chin Disco, starts...
He's got bloody loads of them, and it's okay because we'll be in the studio doing a bad job of his recaps while he's gone.
We start Wednesday in, I believe, Glasgow for the AEW Dynamite shows, and then we are effectively following the WWE live shows across the UK, maybe even abroad. Wait and see. I genuinely don't know if that's happening or not. I just said it. But yeah, Forbidden Dow, we are playing a huge venue, the Indigo 2, my old stomping ground for the Student Radio Awards. Picked up a couple of golds on there, on that stage before. So they'll be probably happy to welcome me back with open arms, if anything. And also...
take a picture of you with like your own blue plaque.
Yes.
Yeah, and Adam Wilbourn blue plaque there.
But regardless of that, wherever WWE goes, we'll be there hosting after parties. If you want to get tickets to any of the shows, dice.fm is where you need to head to. It is Such an awesome night. You were there in Glasgow.
Yeah, it was class.
Earlier on this
me
year.
and Phil came along to see you in action, and then ended up just getting sucked in by the magic of it. We were there, of course, for the first one. The first
Yes, last summer.
Wembley last summer. That was the maiden voyage.
And Swerve and Nana will be back this year.
It's good stuff. It's very good stuff. Have a great night when you go.
As
I
well.
am very jealous of both yourself doing it and the people that are going to get to be attending.
Looking forward to seeing you there. Dice.fm if you want tickets for that. Right, let's talk a little bit more about Night of Champions. We've got 4 matches left. Let's do the United States Championship. Slightly unpredictable, this. Only because of if there's someone else getting involved. I have no doubt that one-on-one, Jacob Fatu beats Sikoa 100 times out of 100. But when it comes to Jacob Fatu, it's one of Eric's favourite things, that, by the way.
Neck there. You really came forward.
Yeah. He likes that. He likes a yeet.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes, just say, there's an animal that comes in, I believe, Indian or African. It's a big grey thing with a trunk.
Elephant. Good.
Huge pap in the Wilbourn household for that. Too much, if anything, because he's just like, again. I was like, all right, well, you can have too much of a good thing.
I mean, I'm seeing Nelly. Seems my eyelashes flicker in that corner.
I don't know what I said in elephant.
Right. Well, whatever it is.
Apologies if anyone is offended.
So our elephants.
I know not what I'm saying.
Our elephants that listen and watch, let us know in the comments below. Get that trunk on the old keyboard, Ski, and let us know what it was Wilbourn just said and if it was offensive or not. Shout out to the elephants. You know who you are. Shout out to my fellow.
Yeah, don't be so, feeling so grey.
Which one's African or Indian with the big ears? I got pretty big ears, so shout out to them.
Yeah.
Which
elephant
has big ears?
the biggest ears?
Yeah.
African.
Shout out to my fellow African elephants. We all got big ears. Might be seeing an elephant in the summer.
Sorry? Oh, yes.
Going to Thailand, and I think
I thought you meant like catching up with an old school friend.
with a pint with an elephant. Yeah.
Barbar? Is that Barbar an elephant?
Me and Barbar did not mix in the same circles though. Barbar had like a hat and a monocle. And
Yeah, but didn't Barbar also like marry his cousin or something?
did he?
Let me find out.
You could see it actually because there was all sorts of like. Oh, they all looked alike.
Did Barbar marry his cousin? Barbar the elephant. Yes, Barbar did marry his cousin. Wait a second, that might not be. Not Barbar. It's not Barbar the elephant. Histoire de Barbar. I'm reading out the story of Barbar. So sorry, carry on. You're going to see an elephant.
Yeah, might see an elephant. I don't really want to, but it seems like the sort of thing that like the kids would have like as I'm scared of it. What if it puts its trunk around my neck and strangles me?
I think you'll be all right.
Elephants do that. But if there's the opportunity, it's my brother was telling me basically there's some that you can go and you can give them a bit of a wash and say, all right, elephant, I don't want any trouble. In their domain, they don't come to your house. You have to go to their lake.
Yeah,
which I find to be
yeah.
a bit lazy.
Yeah, can you not bring it to me?
What if there's a hippo in the water?
Get away. They're
That's what
like the most lethal.
Yeah, what? So why would you put yourself in that position?
I don't know.
I'm just asking questions, but yeah, I might have to be the one to give you the answers when I get back.
Top comment on this Reddit, so take it with a pinch of salt and what have you. A post about Barbar the elephant marrying his cousin. Perhaps surprisingly, there's nothing wrong with marrying your cousin. It's perfectly legal, Cole, in most states in the US.
Do you know who else married their cousin?
Who?
I think. Google it. In case I'm wrong. I think. Speaking of magnificent beasts, Mark Labette from The Chase, I believe, married. So maybe it is legal.
Second cousin.
Second cousin. Right, okay. So maybe it was Barbar's second cousin. Second cousin once removed. Second cousin twice removed. What are you reading about Mark Labette?
I'm just reading about
Do you know that he's called the Beast because that's what Labette is French for? Not just because he's a big bastard. I always assumed that was why they called him the Beast, but I'm sure it's Labette is like the Beast in French.
Yeah.
Labette Mortas.
Beastie Boy redirects here. The hip-hop group see the Beastie Boys.
You've got to fight for your right to Friday. Is that anything?
Yeah, I think so. Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa.
I think Solo wins. Solo wins.
I've got something I need to talk to you about after this.
Okay.
Not on the
let's get to it because I've not got very long left. I think Solo wins, And I think he does it with help, and it might be Hikuleo, or it might just be the fact that Jimmy Uso's been...
Oh, he's separated from his second cousin. Sorry about that.
That must be awkward at Christmases, because you've both got to go anyway, haven't you?
Yeah.
On the old Baba table. It's a funny name, isn't it? Baba.
Baba is very French, isn't it?
Baba. Did you watch Baba when you were a kid?
I have a vague recollection.
Me too, like early Channel 4.
Yeah.
Like, the shows were a bit more like sort of... so like CBeebies would have, whoa, live and kicking. 081 811 8181.
Oh, yeah.
And then you would like win a competition, or you would be watching the week that like Bret Hart was on. And then like SMTV sort of nicked it. Like, and might we accidentally say fuck? Like there was an element of that, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And it kind of like pushed it to the limit, and it was like, the kids are watching for the entertainment, but the mums are watching for Ant and Dec, and the dads are watching for Cat.
Yeah.
Right, so it was a bit sexualized. And then Channel 4 would be like, now, a cartoon about politics back in the communist 1980s of Eastern Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, Baba. Or Medellin.
Yeah.
Or like one that should have been a bit wackier, but couldn't help being a bit sort of, is this noir? Like Sharky and George, the Crime.
Oh, yeah, the Crime Busters of the Sea.
Yeah, like great theme. Everybody loves the theme. It's wacky enough. And then you're actually watching the show, and it's like, hey, George. And like, George, what's going on, Sharky? It's been another death, George. And I don't think we're going to get out of this town alive. 3 hours later, they've not solved any crimes because the Crime Busters of the Sea, they can't light the taps because they're underwater. Like, and then like the production company at the end would always be, that's like really high end.
Yeah.
Like from the makers of Asterix, the Gaul.
Oh, yeah, that was a big
It's
thing, wasn't
a
it?
bit posh for me, all that kind of stuff. I was like, can I have my brainless muck, please?
We do have 10 minutes before we have to go for our lunch this Friday.
Friday lunch.
So I will get us back to...
This reminds me of the pandemic SmackDown previews. Our Wilbourn, chips on the way, mate.
Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa.
Solo wins. Running, big shock, big twist. Jacob's like, yeah. Jacob's like, effing joking. He's already back up before. Solo makes a run for it. You see him getting into a speeding car. He's got the belt. He's like, you can't believe it. We did it.
Yeah.
The whole deal.
So like Jimmy takes out like JC Mateo or whatever. I like that.
Hikuleo under the ring, but he's so tall you can see his
Wins
feet
it back
sticking
by
out the
like
bottom.
SummerSlam.
Wins it back at SummerSlam.
That's nice.
Kicks his ass. Like, just absolutely brutalizes him, spends a month just like tearing through SmackDown.
Jacob finishes his own story by killing everyone.
Yeah.
He doesn't need any help.
No Avengers. Just absolutely barrels through everybody.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's go with that then. Let's talk about Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes.
Love it. Can't wait for it. The thing I'm most excited about all the way around because I'm nervous about the quality of the main event. I've just got such high hopes for this. Randy Orton is sort of quietly one of my favorite WWE wrestlers to watch. Doesn't really put in bad nights anymore.
No, he's I think because people aren't anticipating him to be the quick guy that he was meant to be in his 20s. And he just would methodical pace there.
He kind of does impress you, and he's such a star. And the fans are going to sing.
Got big arms,
massive jacked guy. The fans are going to sing. He's going to pull those funny Randy Orton faces he pulls these days. And then on the other side, you got like the biggest star of a generation, like an oldest law between them, and the first time out, and the match they've been really patient and held on to. Think about this: it was in France, if I'm not mistaken, when Cody and Orton were out there with Owens and Orton were out there with Cody, and Orton took his first look at the belt.
Yeah,
that was a year ago.
Was it? And he came incredibly. Was it Gunther he faced? Yeah, it was the Gunther match that was amazing last year, wasn't it?
He won the King of the Ring, did he not?
Yeah, but that was the like controversial finish. But the match itself was awesome.
It was great. It was better than the world title match they had.
Yeah,
with the dodgy finish. So yeah, I got high hopes for this.
Oh yeah, I've merged the two things.
No, but the Bash in Berlin match was because,
of course,
Randy was like, well,
can't had you beat there.
How'd you beat, mate? Like, let's go again. So. I think Cody wins.
I agree.
And I like that for the story because I think wherever you headed...
Doesn't spoil the result of the main event either.
No, wherever you headed for SummerSlam, it's huge. You've got your take on that. I think Brian Weddig had something like down a similar path in terms of having a bit of spice in this Cena thing. And Randy Orton always said, I'm not going to stab you in the back. Like, I'm not really going to stab you in the front. I'm going to challenge you politely in the front. And that's where we're at. And now he loses. And at what point is it like, stabbing you politely in the front didn't work?
That path to the title is a long old road. There's a nice shortcut here.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called kicking you in the dick and RKOing you.
So if and when Cody wins the title back, Orton as a first challenger second time around, or if he can't get it done, Orton's like, great, we're mates. And you just play with that tension. And I think it needs to start with this.
Yeah, I agree. I think both King and Queen of the Ring are relatively straightforward, but I'm still up in the air about Asuka versus Jade Cargill, mainly because of Jade's performance on Raw, to be perfectly honest.
It's not been good, has it? No. And you kind of think that she's not relying on it. That's not fair. She wouldn't be in the spot she wasn't if there wasn't lots of other qualities. But they have put her in a spot, primarily with this Naomi and Bianca stable, and then everything that's spun off of that, to give her all of these directions. And this is a big one. Winning Queen of the Ring, as we speculated last year, and I'm sure it came out somewhere that our speculation was correct, and they wanted her to win this last year.
Yeah.
And I can remember the specific SmackDown.
The DQ, wasn't
like,
it?
Why has a load of stuff changed, Wilbourn?
Yeah.
Like, this is nice and ruddy and consistent, and they mix a load of stuff up, and I don't like it. And then it turned out it was because we were right, and it did feel off, and now here we are back, and she wins it. She does win it. The through line is too well crafted. Like the Naomi cash in either on Jade or in a match that features Jade, so it's at Jade's expense. The idea that Jade Cargill, the Queen of the Ring, now has her own sort of her own standing as a singles wrestler. She's got this crown on her head, and it's not meant to look silly. It's meant to show the world that she's like the best at something. She's won on her own steam. Meanwhile, Naomi's got the briefcase and all this momentum. Meanwhile, when Bianca Belair's healed, she's the EST. Like the sort of this idea that like we know Bianca's the best and then we know Naomi's the second best. But the idea is that when you stand them all there next to each other, bang, 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 who's the best? And you kind of mix up with that and you see where everything falls out. And Naomi probably ends up the world champion as the heel. And she goes, you know what, I'm going to let you two crack on. See you later, I'm the champion, I got what I needed. And then that's when you start to build pick at the tension between these two and see if the dream match really can be a dream or if there's a reality to be made out of this. I still don't know with Bianca and Jade. I want it. I do want it. And I want them to push through with it. But if it stays, we'll see if it stays better as a dream match or not. But Jade has to win to get this going. Asuka's
a hell of a person to be in there because she looked amazing since she came back.
I am fascinated to see how, you know how like it didn't really work, but with Roxanne Perez, we were kind of excited to see how they would mesh. Like Asuka's kicks and submissions on Jade.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a lot of Asuka trying to like grab the arm and pull her down, and then Jade standing up and powering out, deadlifting her off the ground and doing a press slam and stuff like that? Asuka like kicking those frigging washboard abs and hurting her foot. Like they're just the sort of, what do I do to beat you? You are evidently not as skilled a wrestler as I am, but you are a giant in my world. And you are a monster and you're stronger than me and you've got this. And Jade wins.
No pressure, by the way, in terms of topping last year's Queen of the Ring final.
Oh my God, Lyra Valkyrie and Nia Jax.
That Annihilator.
They ain't topping that.
Right, one final thing to talk about, and that is, of course, the WWE Undisputed Championship. John Cena versus CM Punk.
I'm going to go, I've thought a lot about this. And
a draw.
I'm going to go, what draw did I correctly predict recently? I can't remember. There was a draw. It was Swerve and Ospreay. I'm going to go after all of the possible permutations, and to be honest, enjoying the fantasy booking scenarios more than the cold reality. John Cena defeats CM Punk in Saudi Arabia with a belt shot, with the only real out being that Seth Rollins landed on the scene, kind of looked like he was about to cash in. You know, all the Money in the Bank 2011 callbacks. One they haven't shown you on screen because it's Dirty Bertie is when Punk is about to be cashed in on. And he hits that like spin kick on Alberto Del Rio and escapes off into the crowd. Seth runs out, heists the century, all that. Punk just like boots him in the head. Like Seth's attempting to cash in, but beats him. So he's laid there at ringside and the match carries on. Fever pitch, whatever. And it looks like things are going well for Punk. And then Seth Rollins blasts him with the briefcase. Thinks better of the cash in because he's a bit rattled himself. And then John Cena spies the opportunity. Belt shot, low, whatever. Cheats, wins. And Seth Rollins was ringside, and he's like, another night, John, me and you, but just not tonight. And we go off the air with Like, he couldn't do it without Seth Rollins, and he couldn't do it without so-and-so and so-and-so, but John Cena is still the champion on this, the Night of Champions. And the show goes off the air, and the idea going into Raw is that did what I said I was going to do. Unlike your punker, who said he was leaving WWE, he came back 8 days later. I'm still going to do what I said I was going to do, which is ruin wrestling. Like, that's one more. And he puts the date counter back up. How many more of them? And because you were all going, oh, we want truth, I took another one off you. It's all coming up John Cena.
All I got to do is beat Cody Rhodes. Oh, wait, it's Cody Rhodes.
SummerSlam, and on you go. And maybe a singles. And I will say, maybe they come up with something like a 3-way, a 4-way, a Seth Rollins cash-in way, some kind of something flashier than just a singles rematch.
No one's sat there going, I'll tell you what, I want to see that WrestleMania main event again.
No, but it is the way Triple H books.
Yeah.
So
WrestleMania, but it's going to be good at SummerSlam. Yeah, I am inclined to agree with you. Or I'm inclined to think that you're probably right, actually. There is a dream scenario I have, which is just CM Punk beats John Cena. I don't think that's going to happen, though, unfortunately, because of all the different reasons. It's biggest one being you don't put all this work into John Cena as a heel champion and winning the title of WrestleMania and taking it off Cody Rhodes and what have you, to take it off him on the show that not many people watch.
Just as well,
as much as the others, as much as, say, SummerSlam.
Am I just too big a Punker fan, or is CM Punk winning the title more of a WrestleMania move than a B-show move?
Yeah, that's true as well.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels massive, that, doesn't it, if and when he wins a world title?
But I could also see, as I pointed out to you, Cody wins, and you're like, oh, God. And then it looks like Punk's going to win, or however you want to get around it. It's just doing a DQ in the main event of Night of Champions in this booking, so I don't really want this one to happen either. But yeah, he's about to lose to CM Punk, and he panics and belt shots him or kicks him in the cock or whatever, and it's a DQ, and Punk's like, I'll still be having that rematch, and it's a triple threat, Punk, Cena, Cody at SummerSlam for the WWE title, where you could do a switch onto Punk there, like SummerSlam, 2 nights SummerSlam.
Second night main event sort of thing. Yeah, it's a big one. MetLife is the WrestleMania 29 location where he didn't get his WrestleMania main event, if you recall.
So there you have it. But do let us know your thoughts, your predictions on the SmackDown tonight and Night of Champions at the weekend, the PLE, in the comment section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE, as I said. And make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. We will be back, myself, Hamflett, and Cedric, on Monday to review Night of Champions. You can follow both of us on X. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE. But for now, this has been the Night of Champions preview. My thanks to Michael Hamflett. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.